Meeting order, 7 p.m. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Kevin.
Yes.
Nick.
Here.
Bonnie. Here. Tracy. Here. Dennis.
Here.
Tom.
Here.
Leo.
Here.
Ida. Here. Caitlin.
Here.
Absent is Corey.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. The February 11th minutes. It's February 11th, 2026. We all had a chance to review. I have. And, once again, an extremely thorough draft has been presented by our recording secretary.
Move to approve the minutes from February 11th as presented.
Support.
We have a motion by Nick and a support by Tracy to accept the minutes. Any discussion, any late additions, subtractions, notations? All in favor of accepting the minutes as presented by Michelle? Motion made by Nick and seconded by Tracy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. I know of no correspondence. Does anybody have any correspondence? No correspondence.
Assuming this legislative update in the packet would fall into that?
Just a notice I got about the House bill.
Oh, that was, yeah, I saw that.
MTA's done some stuff on that as well. I don't know if that would have been sent to everyone, you know?
That's the only thing I don't have in this packet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is a housing
It
bill.
wouldn't come to me.
Top priority of Michigan Associated Planning for the last 5 years. They've adopted a housing platform. I did have a chance to read it. I just forgot it was in here. I didn't think it was correspondence, but I guess it is.
So I guess just for common knowledge, I guess these 9 different housing bills, they do have some preemption that's associated with them. And so I know MML, MTA have also taken pretty firm stances on that. The Planning Association, which is the author of that email, kind of takes a middle ground saying it's not 100% where they would want the legislation to be, but they like to see things happen regarding housing. So I know there's different petitions and things like that, talking to your legislator if you feel passionately about it. But there are several different components of that are preemptive in some dense different areas and things of that nature. So if you're interested, you can look into that and take action if you need to.
Kayla? Comments? Slow down. Don't everybody jump up at once. Okay. Late agenda items. I know of nothing. I know of nothing. No introductions, no public hearings, no new business. So we'll roll right down into the corrections, text amendments to the bylaw manual that our planning commission secretary has dug into.
Okay, I believe I made the changes that you requested, and Caitlin did send over the language for the member in bad standing. You'll find it on page 9. It's in gray and yellow. So hopefully y'all had a chance to take a look at this and decide whether or not this is something that we want to include.
I think it was always our intent It was just never written down. You know,
Well, I think it leaves a pretty broad and open, opinion. If they're not extenuating, then, so be it. It's not miss 3 and you're done, no black and white. It's kind of gives you
Some discretion.
discretion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the gray above and below the yellow is what we had in there, which some of that language is kind of either redundant or contradictory, I think. So So down in the gray underneath it says, in the event any member of the commission requires 2 consecutive unexcused absences from the commission, the chair shall forward an interim report to the township board of trustees regarding absences of all members of the commission. And then it defines that. So if that's good to stay, then that's good to stay. I just wanted to make sure that we were good with everything that was here.
3 up above that in the yellow.
Sorry?
What'd you say, Nick? I didn't hear you.
It's 3 unexcused absences above that in the yellow.
To be a member in bad standing. But the below it says
Yeah,
that
yeah,
if you miss 2, then the
I see.
chair can forward an interim report to the township board to say, hey,
To trigger a response by them that,
Yeah.
hey, you're-
we're missing this person for 2 meetings.
Yeah.
But they're not at that point considered in bad standing.
So what constitutes an excused absence is just calling one of the 3 and letting them know you're not going to be there. You don't have to tell them why.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a,
So no call, no show.
just a no-show type situation. Yeah.
Unexcused is no show up, no call.
Oh, okay. All right. That's clear.
Yeah, and we changed it from being the recording secretary to being the 3 officers last time. So they just have to get a hold of one of us by email or some way just to let us know. I think it was an hour before the meeting, just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a general,
he can't make it.
yeah.
Right.
Just
Okay. As long as we're clear.
Yeah. Okay,
Page 8, Bonnie, back under commission meetings.
okay,
In a rare event, member cannot attend a scheduled meeting and desire to be excused, that person shall notify one of the planning commission officers no later than 6 p.m. via electric mail. What's wrong with a phone call?
what we can add and or phone call via,
Over here, it just says communication, so I don't know if you need to be that specific.
No, the only thing with the email though is if it got too nitpicky, you have a trail of, was it before 6 o'clock?
it's a
A
record.
phone call, it's he said, she said.
Yeah.
Well, it was 6:15. Emails timestamped by.
As long as the email's up,
What's that?
as long as the email's working.
Well, but I don't
understand that
leaving me
statement.
personally out of it, I'm connected all the time. But maybe someone might not be in the future, but at least if the member says, hey, I've got a timestamped email that went through and was received at 5:59, whether I've read the email, whether the chair or vice chair or secretary has read the email is immaterial in the long run. It's still a communication.
And to the phone call point, I mean, there's always a record. My cell always tells me exactly what time I received the phone call. You can screenshot it and you can save that as well, so.
Well, I know a lot of times, like myself, like at our shop, I get very spotty service. So a lot of times I don't see them where an email, no matter when you get it, it's going to be stamped from when it was sent. And even if they're down, I think it might not come through, but you could correct it it will have the back stamp on it.
You guys are okay with that?
I hope people don't wait till 6 o'clock in general.
Well, so what, you're not because,
I think the intent is to notify somebody, how you're telling them how to do it.
okay,
What if they don't do it that way? What if they call you? That's all I'm asking.
I think
You
then it
guys don't want
becomes-
phone calls?
I think then it becomes still a discretionary at the meeting. I don't know if you plan on doing formal, if so-and-so member is absent, they are formally excused? Because that's where you can have that discretionary.
We've done that in the past.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So at the meeting, if someone felt like this was adequate notice, you would just say, we do it as an excused absence. And if someone says, well, he called me 1 minute before the meeting started, this is the 5th time he's had it, no, we're not accepting that this is an unexcused absence. And so you can have that deliberation still when you're crafting that motion.
I'm not opposed to the phone thing. But I do think the email is preferred, is a preferred record keeping mechanism.
And you really can't FOIA a phone call if someone from the community wanted to pull record on. You could see the minutes that it was called, or they said it was called, but you could, if it was email, you could see that actual, they could see that actual email.
All right, leave it in.
I just
But
don't
we're
know why we
splitting
have
hairs
to be
on
so specific, that's all. I'm fine.
I'm fine with it either. We can say electronic mail or phone call. I mean, I just don't know that, I know I readily have everybody's email. I don't necessarily know that I can pull up your phone number that quickly because I'm constantly getting emails to all of us, right? So an email is the easier way of communication only because we're constantly communicating or getting stuff back and forth from the township via email.
The intent should be to notify one of the 3 officers. How they do it, I don't know why we have to be so specific. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why we care, and it has to be date stamped and all that.
Well,
crap.
I don't,
I think we're getting a little bit too picky here. That's just my opinion. I'll go along with it.
I would like to see it that way, and if over the next year we find out that it doesn't work or it's too much of a hindrance, we can always come back and address it at a later date.
Okay.
Do you agree? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine with it.
Anybody else?
So now you've got your note, here's the reference to the 55 on
Got my
10.
55, yep.
Now, that would go in the footnotes, correct?
I think it's like an exhibit, right? Just an exhibit?
But it would go at the end.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be inserted on that page, it would go at the end. I like it.
Okay, so I'm not changing anything on page 9. I'm leaving page 9 like it is, so we're just taking out the highlighting. And
Well, 4, 5, and 6 should be capital letters. Feasance,
Oh, yeah.
I had to ask, okay. This was a cut and paste job. Caitlin. All right. So make those changes. Take out the gray, take out the yellow. Anything else? Oh, no, that was enough. Take out the gray on top of page 10.
so removal of a planning commission member requires a public hearing?
I don't think so. Is that what it says?
Public hearing.
What was that?
It's in the ordinance. Section 5. Any member of the planning commission may, after written changes and a public hearing, be removed from the township by the township board. I don't know if you need it in the bylaws.
Oof.
Charges and a public hearing.
Let's recommend a change to this ordinance.
Yeah, it's
that
not
too.
required, you don't have to.
Who wants a public hearing? I'm happy with the 4 people watching on TV. So you're right, the bylaws now don't match the ordinance.
Well, yeah, it's just not in the ordinance. I never knew there was going to be a public hearing.
I don't, there's no mechanism in here to remove them. This malfeasance, the definitions of malfeasance and misfeasance here,
We're voting in 6, not.
to see if they recommend removal of the member commission. Then the township board may then consider removal, that should be removal, not remove, removal of a member of the planning commission. So at that point, it becomes their responsibility.
Turn it over to the board.
Yeah,
And then they have to hold the public.
then they have to do, that's on them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, at that point, we've performed our responsibilities.
So it doesn't have to be in the bylaws.
No, it's not incumbent upon this body.
It's how we get it to the township board, and then they
Yeah.
have to follow the ordinance to remove the member. That public hearing.
In the past, when we've had several problems with attendance, the member just stepped down.
Right.
I mean, it was never really a question. They recognized that they could not fulfill the attendance.
Challenges and couldn't make
Yeah,
a meeting.
just,
so,
you know, other life events that prevented them from, participating. It wasn't, a personnel issue like malfeasance or anything like that.
All right, so what do we want to do? We want to wait till next month and make the changes again, or we want to adopt it with the changes that we noted tonight? How do you want to move forward?
I would like to see the changes complete
Okay.
because there's just we would have to address all those little typos and things in the motion, and that would be cumbersome and
Yep, no problem.
So does once we approve it, go to the township board for approval? Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
thank you. Bonnie, that was a tall order. Looks like you did a yeoman's job there.
Getting closer.
One more. Yeah.
Hopefully I won't have, the entire year slashed through. It's definitely a work in progress.
Old business number 2, the floor is yours. Ms. Evans.
All right, so in your packet, I tried to provide a comprehensive letter. So again, we're not going page by page is my intention. We're really going to the parts that we said we wanted to circle back to, or we had flagged already previously as legal concerns or understood that. So just to make sure everyone's on the same page, we do require to put it into ordinance form. Typically that's done after the public hearing, just so we're editing this section to the section that's finalized after the public hearing, more or less.
Wait, can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
Who puts it in ordinance form?
I've done it in the past.
Okay.
And then your attorney will review it. I know one of the things we've talked about in the past is that if we are concerned, so we do have some legal components in here.
Right.
And so we could choose to say, we need the attorney to look at this before it's up for public hearing. I think the biggest judgment call is if they are significant, then we should have the attorney look at it before the public hearing, because we don't want to misguide the public to say, oh yeah, these are the requirements. Someone reads it and then says, I'm comfortable with that, as opposed to then we come to the public hearing and then the attorney says, yeah, you can't do those 3-4 things. So if we think they're considered significant, then I think that makes sense to wait or to do it sooner. If we don't think it's sufficient, we could wait while it's out for public hearing a month, and you could bring it to the public hearing. That way, anyone that was interested in the topic can still come and then hear that dialogue. Or we can wait till after the public hearing. But you can have your attorney also put in ordinance form. I also can put in ordinance form, but whoever wants to do it. Any other questions on the ordinance form or processing?
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. So the next is application. So one of the things that we had added was just kind of super clarification. I did try to highlight those in yellow, so it's on the first page and the second page, just application. So zoning permits required for all on-site ground-mounted solar energy facilities in the zoning districts. A site plan would be required for on-site facilities when it's in our non-residential, commercial, and industrial. So I just tried to make it as plain as possible to clarify zoning permit, even though it's permitted, versus we want a site plan on this, without going into the site plan section and adding it there. Any questions, concerns? Otherwise, I will unhighlight it yellow and call it good to go.
I'm good.
All right. And I guess stop me if there's something that you did want to discuss that I didn't flag as something that we specifically wanted to talk about.
The next number 2.
Okay.
The installation of any solar panel shall not negatively impact adjacent properties with additional or excessive stormwater runoff and or drainage. So I'm thinking we just remove or excessive, because you just basically can't impact them with any additional stormwater. It doesn't need to be excessive.
Yep.
Right? So I'm
Totally.
thinking we just remove the or excessive, because then it becomes a judgment call.
So next edit is on page 3 of 10. It's at the very, very bottom. So now we're talking about commercial grade solar installations. I provided the language from MTA regarding telecommunication interference. I think this language is good. It provides wanting to know about this information, but we don't have firm benchmarks. Previous drafts had firm benchmarks, but we don't know necessarily what's safe based on the type of operation. And so we want to know that operation, find out the answer based on how they're operating it, and then we can come to a judgment call. Any questions, concerns about that drafted language?
So you're under 2.31 in all of these, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, is that what you're talking about?
So I'm talking about C6, is telecommunication interference.
Ah, the first one, okay, very good. That was good.
All right, so I'm going to unhighlight it. All good. All right, next is a little bit farther in subsection D and then 3, talking about sound. So I just wanted to verify again that we wanted to do a 0 audible noise at non-participating property lines for construction. This is something that you'd want to verify with the municipal attorney. We do have pre and post-construction noise level readings. Any questions or concerns? Okay. Next is talking about fencing.
This might be, do they take that, it may not be necessary to be in the ordinance, maybe it is. Do they take that at like 2 or 3 different times? I mean, if they take it at 4 o'clock in the morning after construction, when the thing is not running, versus 2 o'clock in the afternoon, pre-construction, when there's traffic and dogs barking? Is there some type of qualification there that says it has to be an average of 3 or?
So you can get technical and you can say exactly some different windows that are associated with it. I find when we have talked to applicants that are associated with this, common sense does apply with that. So they provide that analysis. The consultant they use on their side wants to make sure it's a fair study. And I think that's one of the things that, if let's say we got some garbage data, we would say, so this is garbage data because you're doing it at 4 a.m. So of course, post-construction, you're not going to have a noise component, even though a transformer might be always running. And so I think that's something that you can go very specific if we're worried about it. I think as long as we're able to look at the data and reasonably say, this is something that we're testing on.
The only thing I would caveat that with is that they must be of like time and frequency.
Between the pre and the post.
Yeah.
Okay, I can add
You
that.
you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I mean, if they do it in the winter, if the pre is in the spring when there's dirt bikes running around, and then they do it in the winter when there's
So
no activity, no solar activity, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It's just so that there's a quality component in there that says they have to be of like frequency, time of day, something like that. I'd have to sit down and really figure out the technical language, but from an engineering background, that's what I'd want to see.
Okay, so I have adding a number C that says the pre and post construction noise reading level readings shall be comparable or like in time and day of the week.
That's reasonable, I would think.
Yeah, consistent.
Well, it doesn't cover the season.
I don't know that you could.
Okay.
And part of it is if this is nothing more audible or more intense. So arguably, if they want to do it, they want to do it during more noisy hours as opposed to less noisy hours. But that's something that, again, we can still validate that process. So the next flagged item is 7, which is farther down on the page, talking about knock boxes and keys for emergency personnel. I'm not sure if that's something that you can read. When I talked to a colleague, he said that he's reviewed other projects and that hasn't been upheld. So I think that's just something we ask our municipal attorney to verify if that is a concern or their opinion on it.
I think if we leave it unless they tell us no, the attorney, fall back to them, but leave it in there for now unless they say, no way, you can't do that.
I don't even think there's a gate in the one over in the top up here.
There is.
Remember?
Yeah, it's nothing more than a first or second grader could disable if they really
Yes,
want to get in there.
it is not top notch.
I mean, it's not secure. It's just more or less to say that there's a gate.
Deterrent.
There's a gate here.
Probably about as solid as the Midas substation gate.
No, that's probably a little better. No, that's even better. Yeah.
Or if you wanted, I can not flag it as something the attorney should worry about.
Well, I think all of our utility level properties have that provision. Would that not be a true statement? I mean,
I'm not sure, I didn't check. I know that they usually have fencing around the specific sub-area, but I don't recall if it says something about knot box or how the fire department has handled that. Sometimes they come up with a compromise that's not a knock box, but is something else that I don't know the answer to.
I think just leave it, not flag it, and then if they push back on it, then we'll deal with it then.
We'll test it with the first applicant.
There you go.
No problem.
Take it out for a spin.
All right, so the next one is farther down on page 5. It's number 11, talking about size limit. So this limits how many parcels and how many, the sizing of these commercial operations, and then that it can't wrap around all, or wrap around a non-participating property. And that's number 12 in there too. And so those are things that I would flag with our municipal attorney to verify their buy-in on those two objectives.
I think that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, this was a tough one.
Yeah, so let's have them look at this one, because, I mean,
It's a nice provision, but I don't know if it'll fly.
there you go. So we need to know if it's gonna fly. So
That's.
it's what we want, but let's just make sure we can have it.
Yeah, because Chesaning up there, they have property owners surrounded on 3 sides. That's a mess up there.
So the next flagged item is page 9. Under K for insurance and liability, there's insurance requirements. Ooh, I'm going to capitalize the R so it's consistent with everything else. Sorry about that. But essentially, this language just provides a little bit more flexibility as far as we want to make sure whatever that insurance level, that they're providing that insurance provider language that's there.
That would not apply to a municipal utility, would it? That would only apply to a private operator. Is that
So
is that a
if
true
DT
statement?
is the operator, or if it's Innovatus or some other private company, we're treating them all in the same basket. It's still a use issue.
DTE would,
Have an insurance on the property?
they wouldn't self-insure, or
Well, I think you still have a policy for that, though.
Yeah.
They have to have liability insurance.
You could be self-insured for liability, but I think they have like a legal.
they have an internal underwriter?
Yes.
Okay.
And even if they self-insured, they are a Michigan company, so I think that would kind of still play within those qualifications. And I apologize, I forgot to highlight in the decommissioning plan on page 8, subsection 2, it says participating property owners may request in writing changes to the decommissioning plan to maintain improvements to the property that were part of the development of a commercial solar energy system, such as an access drive. So we're asking for that to be in writing. And that, I apologize, I forgot to yellow highlight it, but it was in my cover letter. So I want to check that we talked about adding some more flexibility. We want to see what it is in writing, that we get that. They could make a public comment, but we still want something in writing verifying that property owner is okay with that being maintained on the property.
So I also added it up to the top of the page on page 8 for 2, because it basically says that this has to go back to exactly the way that it once was, and then I just put subject to I2 in case there is something written that we've accepted, so that it goes back with the exception if there's something that we've accepted.
Okay, so that correction was in I still, or?
It's on, both of them are page 8. Top of page 8 is a number 2, decommissioning shall include. Starts with that. Right at the very top of the page.
Oh, I found it, yep.
So at the end of that paragraph,
Mhm.
I just put in parens, subject to I2.
I see.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yes,
So that way,
Your reference down to.
I'm referencing the exclusion that we might accept if they wanted to keep the access road.
And I'll add the full section number just so somebody doesn't go, oh, is it a different section? No, it is this section.
The bottom of page 8, number 6, the very last line. The first word is pan, and it should be plan. Because by gum, I haven't read a solar ordinance in like a whole month, so I felt like I needed to go through it
Whole
again.
thing.
I know,
What are you, crazy?
yeah, apparently.
So when you, let me understand, Caitlin, when you.
So that was
hire-
a land or a plant?
It's a plan,
What was the word originally that was wrong?
pan.
Pan, I got you.
It's at,
I
it's
found
at the beginning of the line,
Yep, I found
the
it.
fourth line down.
Very good. And so just to make sure I close the loop on that, number 2, with the we're all comfortable with the participating written agreement to have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
All right,
100%.
perfect.
The owner of the property wants the buildings left,
The
or
road,
fences or whatever.
it's got a nice road coming into the property, wants to be able to utilize it. Yeah.
Same thing with the insurance requirement. We're okay with that language. That can be unhighlighted. Perfect.
I think so.
That is it. Hopefully there's nothing else that you thought was concerning. So then, the only question then would be is when do you want your attorney to step in based on what I said?
I think the attorney needs to review this before we go to public hearing.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think, because I think that 320, I think that's gonna be a big.
Yep.
If that changes, that could be a big
That's a
And
big,
we-
change after the.
Right.
meeting.
yeah.
It's gonna be huge, so I think we need to have that reviewed.
Okay,
Plus
so,
the non-participating, I don't want it on 3 sides. We're gonna have to argue with the
Right.
attorney on that one.
all right, so I'm gonna send draft 7 to Ida, who will then send it to the municipal
I'll
attorney.
send it to the township supervisor, who then can send it to,
Very good,
because I don't have the authorization to do that.
fair enough. Do
Not-
we
not
want to provide them any guidance to say we'd really like their comments by the next planning commission meeting?
Sure.
I don't know how fast they process, but if we give it to them tomorrow.
I would have asked.
They should be able to turn it around in a couple of weeks. Seaber's pretty quick.
I've probably seen a few of these.
And I'm leaving it, those specific sections yellow highlighted. I guess it's up to you, the discretion of the supervisor or the planning commission, if you recommend he review the entire thing, or if you want him just to review
I-
those few things
Oh,
at
I
this
think they should
moment.
do the whole thing.
I don't think they would review it without reviewing the whole thing. I mean, I'm no lawyer, but I sure wouldn't put my stamp of approval on it without. looking
Just the
at it.
highlighted areas? Yep, I agree.
Well, part of it is it's not an ordinance form yet, so I don't know if your attorney would want to review it when it's fully in ordinance form to ensure that that's when they approve it. So it's- at this
Oh, I
point,
see your
yes,
point. I
these are topics that we're concerned about and we know we're concerned
I
about.
see your
And
point.
then still
Yeah.
looking at,
We're not at the ordinance level yet.
That's
I see
right.
your point.
Well, it's pretty close to being an ordinance form. I mean,
The
It's
form's not
short-
gonna change the content.
short of putting it in an adoptable format, it is an ordinance form. So this is not the paper that we're gonna adopt, because it doesn't have the language surrounding it to adopt this language, but that's really all it's missing.
yes, and then each section then says this is being either repealed and replaced in its entirety or based on red, because usually for the table of uses, I just highlight in red where there's a change. So that way it's a little bit easier to say, this is what changed. As opposed to a lot of the other language, I'd just say rip and replace. Like all of 231, it's just a repeal and replace with this. But yeah, that's your discretion, whatever, I don't know what the common process is, so. Or the supervisor can make a decision, that could also be the judgment call.
Well, I think, I think based on your argument that only the highlighted areas at this time need to be reviewed. I'll agree with that.
And it'll go back to the attorney again? Is that what you're saying, Kevin?
Yeah.
After it's completed in its final form. Okay. I would agree with it at that point because they're not doing the final review, correct? Because there's still edits and things that have to occur after this point. Is that a correct statement?
Well, maybe, depending if he doesn't have any problems with it.
Irregardless of his review.
No, we're done. Aren't we done?
I hope so.
Yeah, we're done.
Can we put it in ordinance form and leave that yellow and submit that final document
I can.
to them? And then,
That makes sense.
and if he says it can stay, it's done. If he says it has to come out, that gets struck and it's done. And then we have a hearing and.
Well, it can't get struck. So
No,
it's got to be replaced with language that he does, I mean, we've got to have some kind of
Well,
a
It gets
size.
corrected.
Correct, yeah.
It gets corrected or updated per his recommendations.
But I think as long as we follow, they're gonna give you suggested updated language. If we keep that, then I don't think it would have to go back to them again.
So turnaround time for you, though, there you go. So we're probably not going to look at this in the April meeting. We'll
Well,
probably,
maybe. I have one other thing on my to-do list that has to get done this week. But then potentially could jump on doing the ordinance form. Ordinance form just, I mean, you take sample language and then there's a mock-up. It's not a very involved hour process. So I think that's something, again, I will do it in the most efficient time and then just leave it up to the discretion of the attorney. We'd love to have it by April, but if that's not possible, that's also okay. That could be the,
We don't have to see it before the attorney in ordinance form.
No.
So I mean, I think you just ask, and if we can have it for the April meeting, great. If they can't get it to us, then they get it back to us for the May meeting.
Right, right.
I think you always ask, and if
That makes the
they
most
can't
sense.
do it, then
That
they
makes the most
put the
sense.
call to them, and if they get it done, great.
Yeah.
for public hearing. So we wouldn't be having public hearing.
April 8th is our meeting.
Not yet.
Yep.
Well, so they want to look at the attorney's comments in April. Then we would then make the notice, and then that would be for May.
Just trying to make sure.
So the attorney's going to go through the whole thing in ordinance format.
See, why not?
That
Roger
makes
that,
sense.
yeah.
That's the most efficient use of his time.
It seems the
money.
most
Yep.
economical
If it's
for
male or female, the most efficient use of their time.
everyone's, yeah.
I'll be on it.
Thank you.
So depending upon what happens, let's just say all the stars align and we get this back next month and there's not a whole lot to do. At that point, we set the public hearing.
I don't know if you want to communicate. I think it probably makes sense to see what their feedback is first.
No, next
And
month,
then,
yeah.
But do you want the attorney to attend a meeting? I just want to make sure we're communicating fully to the supervisor. If
I don't think that ever happens here.
I don't think we need
it's
to.
happened like once in my tenure of being your consultant.
I say they don't go to the board meeting very often.
If there's something that's controversial, and this is not controversial in any way whatsoever.
Okay, so we'll look at their review notes or whatever. If I can't explain it, I'll talk to the supervisor and see if I need to talk to him directly to make sure I can explain it to you guys if I can't follow it, so.
It's like your baby's gonna get some wings and take off, huh? Your ordinance is coming to fruition.
We'll see.
Start batteries.
Finally.
We'll see.
Okay. Thank you, Caitlin. That was very thorough and.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So then, to the next thing, reports. Again. Caitlin's full. Take it away, Caitlin.
I don't know that we have much on the docket. Everyone received, and I think RSVP, who was planning on attending the complimentary weight trim planning and zoning training. So we'll be doing that at the Emily City Fire Hall. So happy to have you there. There's going to be some of our other common clients from the Lapeer County area that will also be in attendance. So it'll be a good event.
Give me the date so I can make sure I have it in my calendar.
It is April 9th.
Ninth, that's what I thought.
The day after our planning commission meeting.
Well then,
Oh, 2 days, isn't it? No, it's a Thursday. Never mind. Yep.
Yep.
What
So.
was it, 7?
It's a training.
But you, well, yeah, that's what you said you were going to Frank.
Leo and I think, are going to Frankenmuth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Food might be better. Food might be better. You're guaranteed to have chicken.
Fire off.
You'll have more fun with me though.
True. That's right.
Go for the entertainment.
Yeah.
You don't have a water slide though, do you?
I do not. You have to pay extra to do that at the Frankenmuth.
Oh, the fire truck's down there, something cool.
I was gonna say, there's a fire truck.
Yeah, they got
They make their own water
We can
slide.
get that big jumpy thing out.
So the regular ordinance update, where are we with the overall
Audit.
audit?
I am still auditing.
Okay.
So the intention is that I will have an audit ready for you in April. It's still not clear to me if the planning commission wants to look at the audit first. Then it goes to the township board and then they make their discussion on if they want to then do a full update or a more abbreviated update, how that works. So it's, just let me know what the process is. I am anticipating I'll have it ready for you in April. But we're not gonna go through the audit. So it's gonna be, here's the audit, 30 pages or how many pages it is. How
So,
would you like to move forward?
so the April board meeting, they're the second Monday, correct?
Right.
So in April, it falls after our meeting, so I don't think that would hold anything up. But I know that we're staring down the fee adjustment
That's July though.
from wage, well, yeah, but we see how this board moves when it comes to rewriting the ordinance. But if we can see it, it won't delay anything. But if the board meeting was first and we wanted to review it, we might start pushing. Having
I
an
honestly
answer.
believe the board's going to take the recommendation from the planning commission.
Right, and our meeting falls before the board meeting anyways in April.
Well, that's why I'm wondering why we wouldn't go through the audit. You said we wouldn't go through the audit, Caitlin?
Well, so there isn't enough time in 2 hours
Yeah,
to go over
it's-
35 pages of
Yeah,
edits.
I don't want to get mired down in the mud on a line by line review in a meeting. In this meeting, it's not the time or place. for
We'll
it.
have it ahead of the meeting to,
Yeah, so you'll have it a week ahead of the meeting. If there's like general questions, just absolutely there to answer those questions.
But we'll have a
we're not
chance to look at
looking for decisions on the audit and how it's laid out or things of that nature. But it's, if there's any, I'm happy to have, if there's anything that you think, hey, I would also like to see these things tweaked, we can always add it to the audit at that point in time. But we're not going through each item saying, you're missing this definition, you're missing this use, and that kind of level of detail.
I think this
Later.
board's been fairly clear of where we stand on the zoning ordinance in general. I don't think.
But
the
we
audit-
should be able to make a decision in April to recommend to the board in May then, according to your.
No, we
No,
could
in
make
April.
it for
because your board,
your meeting, the board meeting's after planning commission in April.
the board meeting
April
is.
starts on a Wednesday,
Oh, okay, so we're,
Yeah.
so
So
we'll
your
get it
board
like 4
meeting is the
days before the
13th.
board.
okay,
And we meet on the 8th.
okay.
So we can make a recommendation on the 8th to the board, who meets on the 13th.
But I can make a recommendation now without seeing the audit, personally.
And I can still give them the original audit that I'm sending here, and they could still have in their packet a week ahead of the meeting.
Yeah.
If there was any additions that you think you would also like to see that I didn't specifically go into, we could always add those and ad-lib them there, but. So, and I don't know if the township board wants me on the 13th meeting. I was kind of hoping we could align the commercial solar energy at the same time as the township board, but I don't know that that timeline's gonna coexist anymore. But
Well, I wonder that, or
just let me know, I guess.
if we could invite a couple of the board members, if they didn't want you or you couldn't be at their meeting, if they could come sit in with us the Wednesday before.
I'm not following on a solar ordinance for April, you mean?
Yeah, the timeline doesn't work where I would be at both. I didn't know if you wanted me to go to the township board meeting to walk through the commercial solar energy ordinance. I haven't historically ever needed to do that, but some of these hot topic technical discussions, sometimes it's helpful to be there to just directly answer questions. But we can always just.
So wouldn't that be after we hold the public hearing and then we
Yes,
make
that's
a
why I'm saying the
recommendation?
timeline doesn't work.
Okay, yeah, so that won't be in April.
Correct.
No.
If-
Okay.
The original
And-
thought I
and-
had
and not
is-
only that, that would tie up a board meeting way beyond. I mean, people would be glassy-eyed. It would be too much in one meeting.
Okay.
Because what we would do on the solar ordinance in April is review, if we had, assuming we had the attorney's comments back, then set the public hearing.
Yep, so nope, the
So
timeline
that-
doesn't work anymore, so
Right.
disregarding that comment.
Okay, disregarded.
Did that satisfy your curiosity?
I don't even remember what my curiosity was now, so.
timeline
The
of
audit.
Okay, yep,
Go back to
okay.
the audit.
Yep, so the intention is to have it ready for your April meeting. That could also be then sent to the township board. It sounds like that's still the process you would like to do, is PC initially, and then it would work out to have
Correct.
those still all be decided in potentially April. And then it is to be determined if you need me to be at that meeting or invite township board members to the meeting on the 8th. So that way they could hear directly and
I think hearing directly from you would be beneficial, whether if you
At the township board
yes.
meeting.
Well, whether a few representatives come here or if Caitlin goes.
I think it's incumbent upon you to be there
Yes.
as the face of the audit,
Yes.
presenting it. I think I don't see any other way to do it.
I agree, as long as that can happen. I was just kind of.
So that is our request.
If that couldn't work.
So, did you have a conflict? That would be the 13th of April, right?
Not that I'm aware of at this moment. I just know in previous discussions with the township, you didn't need me at the township board meeting, and then you didn't need me, and then I ended up coming, and then we made action. So just clarifying sooner rather than later.
Talk to Gary.
Thank you. All right, moving on. The engineer's monthly report here is very thorough with a lot of no changes. The country smokehouse thing,
It says right on the report.
no, I understand it. I'm just making a comment that many of these, we just can't seem to get off bottom dead center.
And I think also though, I mean, these numbers mean something to Corey. They mean nothing to anybody here. Yes. And for new commissioners especially, that weren't sitting here when these things went through, it would be really helpful to have the date of approval on here. So we can see how many years it's been since we've been waiting for a pond and some screening. You know what I'm saying? Because these numbers to me, was it approved 2 years ago, 5 years ago?
2019, if I remember right.
But you've got several new members here, right? And I think it would help us to know the aging process of some of these projects.
Agreed.
And I have another question on Pinecrest. Do we get as-built?
When they call in that they're final, we get an as-built.
Okay, he says the project is completed and accepted.
Well, that's the road.
That's just the property improvements. That's not the full
Once
load.
the construction continues,
It is kind of confusing though, because it says the project construction is completed and accepted, and then the next sentence says the project remains open.
so the road is complete.
There's different phases.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is complete.
Yeah.
It means phase 1 is complete.
Right, and then 2, 3, and
Is what it should be.
It's phase 2,
And then
3,
any
and
house that's
4.
built, he does a review on it. He does 2 reviews on it. So-
Okay, but a house construction does not impact storm sewer going in, for example. So when the underground's in and the road's in, that project, that's what we engineer.
Right.
The individual houses,
That's the
what,
building department.
That's the building department, and the plot plans are approved by
To
engineering.
be more specific.
Yeah, because to me, there's two separate things going on here. The underground goes in, the paving goes in, and we accept the site plan. That's done. That's approved. Give me as-built. And then as each individual house going, the only thing they're doing is tapping maybe into the storm sewer through sump lines. That's it. It's not, there's no more construction going on except for the home
Right.
and that plot plan.
So Bonnie, you would say that should come off the list as complete?
In,
And once we get as-built.
Right.
And I don't know why we're waiting on as-built for house construction. That's my confusion.
yeah,
No, I don't think we
right,
need.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Phase one was really all that we were responsible for. The roads and the property improvements.
So phase 2, 3, and 4 is not roads?
I'm assuming that's.
Oh, so the roads went in for all of the phases in phase 1?
No, phase 2, 3, and 4, there's 4 sections of the subdivision.
And the roads went in
No,
in phases?
the remainder of the roads just went in last year.
Okay,
So
but they're all in now?
2, 3, and 4, I think they had it split into 4 projects, roads and everything.
I'd have to go back and look.
I think there's one section that they can extend the road yet. They're not ready for that yet.
We need
Is that-
to get.
Based over there.
clarification on
Yeah.
that.
I'm good.
What
I've
phase
got it
they're
down
in.
there.
And he hasn't been here for a few meetings. Maybe we could just get him to come to the next meeting
Sure.
so we can chat some of these things up with him?
Yeah, I didn't know he wasn't coming.
Okay.
I don't recall he and I having any communications.
So really, you need clarification on if phase 2 roads are complete, or is there phase 3 and 4 yet to be done? I don't honestly know. Do you know, Nick?
No, I don't. I know that all the roads were not in
Correct.
originally,
That's what I think there's.
but I'm
3 and 4.
assuming 2, 3, and 4 has nothing to do with roads than houses. I think that's just sections of the development.
Well, my thinking is phase 2 road is done, completed.
There is a new phase of roads in, but is it phase 2, phase 2 and 3, 2, 3, and 4? That I don't know. But there's new blacktop and storm drain in.
Well, he's saying 2, 3, and 4, project construction is complete and accepted.
Right.
So I glean from this that they're done.
Yeah, if you've never seen this before and you're just looking at it for the first time, your opinion is valid.
Okay.
Legacy Metals,
Legacy
still
Metals.
waiting.
Yeah. I know they've,
It's hard to get material though with the frost laws being on and that.
When was that constructed?
Just last year, I think.
Over the
The
last.
last thing.
2025?
In the fall.
Yeah, the last thing they're doing is the dumpster enclosure, and then it'll be complete. And I know Novak was pulling a permit for it. I don't know if he got it or not. I'm not in that department anymore.
Legacy Metals is Novak?
No.
Novak
Novak
took
is
the
the
permit
contractor.
out to put the dumpster enclosure in.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Oh, I see.
Got it. Okay. I didn't understand what Novak, I couldn't hear everything you just said, so.
Oh, sorry.
Southern Truck, it says it's substantially complete. They're still doing a lot of excavating or.
Right, there's
earth
big
moving
piles
or
of dirt. How can that be substantially complete?
The final grading, none of that. It doesn't appear, I'm no
I don't,
heavy equipment operator, but it does not look complete to me.
no, and I drove by and they're still working on the pond.
That's what,
I looked at it tonight when I went by and I'm like, that's not done.
And they just got the permit for building number 2, so they're not done.
So if they just got the permit for building
So
two, that's,
We're questioning his substantially complete status too. All evidence to the
final
contrary.
inspection. If they haven't finished building, if they haven't even started building two yet, why are they doing the final inspection? Okay, well, we have a lot of questions there. I will communicate with Corey and ask that he be in attendance at the next meeting to answer or clarify some of the questions.
Thank you.
Pardon?
At the April meeting?
Please, yeah, I'll also reach out to him and give him a heads up. Sean,
The,
Shane,
that's okay. The ZBA did not meet in February, so nothing new.
But I did receive today an application for the CBA, so they, depending on the calendar, they may meet end of March, probably sometime in April. So we can get the 15-day notice in.
item, zoning and building report.
Okay, so for next month, we're going over the bylaws again.
We are, because it's just so much fun.
What draft is this? Number what, 8, 10, something?
Yes.
Okay, so bylaws. And Caitlin, you're gonna have solar ordinance in an ordinance form for them to look at?
Yes. And hopefully attorney comments. If we don't receive attorney comments, I would presume we would not have that on the April agenda because
Correct.
there's nothing further to process.
Correct.
And the audit on the April agenda.
Got it.
Oh, and then the audit too? All right. Talk about training. I haven't seen anything come in from the state regarding anything controversial, although did you see your new, is it Michigan Planning? It's all on solar. The whole thing. So if you get that magazine, you're gonna be thrilled.
That we almost have an ordinance?
Start all over again.
No. No, let's do batteries.
And then you're gonna have Corey attend, right?
Nothing from Blaze.
So I have a minor update.
Oh, you have mine?
No, we're past you already. You missed your report.
Because I did meet with them briefly for like 15 minutes on Monday virtually. So they did show me an updated concept plan. So I just encourage them again when you're writing these conditions, make sure that they're written, that they're thoughtful. If you're not going to allow an access drive on that for public use or any use, if you're going to have a 100-foot buffer from the residents next door, is that no buildings are there? Is that no public activity is there? Those things matter when people are talking about what level of concern they have on that project. So just be particular in the language you pick, and know when you're walking into the meeting what you're willing to give. So if they're willing to put on different conditions to say, we're going to do the standard greenbelt, but if there's a lot of concerns, we're willing to add one more greenbelt. That's helpful on their end to get everything done in one meeting. So I did say that the Planning Commission will do problem statements. So if we're concerned still about the level of buffer with residential, as a conditional rezoning, it's their job to find the solution and us to judge is that sufficient. So we don't say you shall add 5 pine trees. We say we're worried about this, and they say, well, we're going to add 1 pine tree per 20 linear feet. Is that acceptable?
When did this go to a conditional zoning request?
So that is something that they proposed on their end. and that was done at the first, what do we call it, pre-application meeting that happened with several township board members. Staff was there, I was there, where they, I want to say, what, did that happen back in February?
January?
Maybe January? So they haven't reappeared since then, but that was something that, due to the level of concerns that people were having, at the pre-application meeting we had with them, they clarified, actually, we don't want this to be somewhere we're holding festivals. We would like this to exclusively be an event venue for all, essentially, for private events. They are not looking for this to be the next Blake's or Maida. They do not want to do festivals here and pop-ups and all those things. So they said the original application was more zealous than what they actually wanted to do. And I said, so you need to write what you actually want to do, because that impacts what level of concern people have. An event venue is very different than hosting festivals all summer long.
But the application that the planning commission received was not a conditional zoning
So
request.
So they're resubmitting an application, and there will be a new public hearing. That if they proceed with that conditional rezoning that they've talked about doing, that would be clarified for all parties. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, it does.
It's basically a reset.
Correct.
Yeah, they called in the meeting and said, after the public comments, they were concerned, and they came to the township and asked, we'd like to meet, see what we can do to make this better. And no decisions were made. We just said, you got to change some things. You got to bring it back to us. We're going to have a new hearing. We'll do the whole thing over again. And that's your direction.
I give them a lot of credit for that, because a lot are just bullheaded and try to do what they want, and they at least took input from the hearing, and it did what it was
It's a
supposed to
different
do.
tone. It's definitely a different tone.
Yeah, they're going in a different direction than the farming thing, and they know they're getting away from that, and they're going to be held to a tighter account, because they're not going to be able to get away with what were a farm operation. And they've really been great neighbors. Have been getting better, I should say that. They really want to be better.
Speaking of rezonings, I did have a gentleman come in Tuesday. His client has purchased the corner of Tub Springs and Van Dyke, the northeast corner, across from the bank.
Wow.
How do you feel about a Taco Bell?
Well, let's not do a loaded question like that, but.
No, but he presented two fast food restaurants. I explained to him that it was something he was not aware of, that they're going to be at well and septic. I said, there's no way you could get those two businesses on that 2-acre lot. And I says, you didn't show me the easements. There's a drain easement, there's 2 road easements. Out of that 2 acres, you've got maybe an acre building area. And I suggested that before they proceeded with the application, they go into the Lapeer County Health Department and determine what they can do with the site. And then if they're adamant about developing that site, then bring us back something that we can look at. The conceptual was just conceptual. I mean, we can't hold them to it anyways. But it was like, you're trying to put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag.
How wide is that property? There's no way they can have a Van Dyke F53 driveway, is there? That's big enough
That'll be up
to
to
support.
MDOT, but it's pretty close to the traffic light there. I'm not sure, but they certainly can get a drive off at Tub Springs.
But I mean, are they going to want to?
According to the conceptual plan, they did have a drive coming off of Tub Springs, but not Van Dyke.
What zoning? What is that zone currently?
Industrial. And he wants a C1. He came in with a possible C1. And when I looked at it, I said, you're still going to need a special land use for what you're proposing. So make sure that this is what your client wants.
I remember that was supposed to be a gas station way long time ago, Sakona or something.
Station, car wash, hospital, they did the same thing. They tried to jam 20 pounds in a 3-ounce bag, and it went down.
And the county turned them down, and when the
Big
county
time.
turns them
It was-
down.
They didn't even have a chance.
So, haven't heard back from them. I just figure if they are serious, they'll be back. If not,
Nice property without knowing whether there's water or sewer.
Lots of people. You'd be amazed.
What was the question, Kevin? I didn't-
Who buys property without knowing if there's water or sewer?
Water or sewer.
well, he thought he could tap in because it's over at the bank, and I said, no, that's in the village. This is the township. Two different.
Only it was that easy.
I think sometimes people give the wrong information. They're misled.
For running water and sewer all the way up Pembroke if the village would play ball.
Well, that would really open up the industrial, I'll tell you that right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
That's
I'm all-
killing me.
I'm all
Water is
for it.
killing me right now.
It's the perfect spot for it, all the way up Pembroke.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Ida. That was very thorough and gave us a lot of information that we didn't have before. Any other general comments, additions? Anything? No? Nothing. Mr. Hager? Anything additional, Bonnie?
Motion to adjourn?
Support.
Should I maybe ask these guys first?
Okay, go ahead.
Additional comments?
Support.
So, motion to adjourn by Secretary Bonnie and supported by Tracy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
The opposed person can stay here. We're all gonna go home.